All right, let's see how this does. There. I like that look. Hold on one second. Let me move a little something. See if that doesn't do a little bit better for the lighting. All right, guys, I'm gonna rely on you to tell me how this is working because a little bit of side light in there, maybe. We're having to rely. Oh, I don't like that. It shadows the shit out of half my face. Anyway, we're having to rely on. Let me try something different really quick because that is just not a overly great look. Ooh. See, this is why I need Kurt here for things, because this is his area of expertise. Yeah, fuck it. That's gonna have to be okay. All right, it's gonna have to work. Sorry, lighting ain't gonna be perfect. Anyway, what I want to know is how is your video stream? Because today we're having to rely on Verizon. We will be having to rely on Verizon for about 3 weeks. It is a live chat. We do that quite a bit. Too much purple, you can't see. All you see is the racks. The purple's up top now. You're busted on that. So if it starts coming in and out, we will be getting fiber optic here so we can stream just like we did the other place. But it is... Oh, well, it's all right, David. We'll catch you next time. It is going to be a few weeks away. Basically, they have to drop the line and run the line here. So we will be waiting on that. The odd buffer. That's why I was afraid of Andrew using the cell phone. Now, the only thing on the Verizon network here in this house should be my phone right now. So that should help a little bit. Zebra Boy Zeus is doing good. We'll probably pull a few things out and show them off here shortly. Yes, go Vikings, but today we're sporting K-State because it is college day. Pixing out of sync. Ugh. See if it gets better, Cindy, because I'm hoping it does. And it may be different too, because I don't know if it's, your stream, how it's coming on your end, or if it's on my end. If it's everybody, then I know it's on my end. And I do want to know that, because like I say, we're kind of stuck with this for a short time until, our service provider has to get up here and put it in, right? That's what we're really waiting on. So when they get that done, then we'll be running this off of that, right? And it'll be really good then. So the snakes are doing good. We did have our first feed day after moo. We still have some females who are trying to get back on food. But we actually had a pretty decent feed day in here, which was really awesome. So I'm really excited about that. The expansion is amazing. I mean, it looks like it's wall to wall, but you're really seeing every rack on that wall. Oh, I'm sorry, husband. That's a bummer. And it's hard to say sometimes. The only way you can really know is if you go and you get an autopsy done, right? And then you can really find out what happened. But other than that, sometimes it's hard to tell. And sometimes the young ones, it's just not meant to be, It's going to be hard to see. Well, David, I'm going to be watching that on my TV. And K-State did great this weekend. We didn't play. It's our bye week. I do think if K-State wins that game, it's going to really set a tone for us the entire season. We definitely had problems, but not too bad. Talking about, Phil, you talking about the camera angles and things, or the, not angles, but yeah, that's what I want to know. Oh, well, what are you using, Charles Brown? And what we use is, of course, we use Reptile Prime. I like it. I've done some testing with it. That's why I chose it. It had nothing to do with who's on the bag or who's not. I don't really care who's on the bag. Like, I know some people who will use it because Brian's on there. And that's fine. I know people who won't use it because Brian's on there. I think that's stupid. Use what you think is best, right? And I think it's going to best. So that's what I go with. But it's kind of, some people don't like it. They do worry about a little bit getting stuck in the mouth or in the heat pits. I've never had a problem with it in the heat pits. I have had them ingest some, but it's so small they're going to... Great for me. It holds humidity like a boss. The Repta Chunk stuff, like Repta Chip, is really good too. But I honestly prefer the little bit more finer shaved. I really like the Prime. I just really do. I get mine through our shop. So since we own part of our own shop, we're one of the few shops that actually deals in Reptile Prime. So you can get it online as well. But we will buy it in bulk. And of course, I can buy it at some people do complain about the price. For full disclosure, I'm buying it at a wholesale cost from, my use and to sell. So, and it is Genetic Hunters. It's the brand. It's not the product. If you won't, it's like me saying I won't wear Nikes because they once were sponsored by Antonio Brown, who's proven to be an ass. Well, if I like the shoes, I'm still going to wear them, right? Someone says something about seeing Zeus. You'll get to see Zeus the day's over. How much do I usually spend for bedding? Well, my bedding order usually comes to several $100s, but I'm buying cases at a time. Like, I'm not buying a few bags here. I'll say, hey, get me 3 or 4 cases on our next shop order, and I'll buy that from the shop at 3 or 4 cases at a pop. So you're talking, I don't know what the actual price is. I'd have to look. It's just whenever I need it, I buy 3 or 4 cases, store them, and use them as needed. I mean, obviously with moving, it's a little bit higher. So yeah, and Chad, it probably is. It's because we're having to use Verizon, which I know sucks, and I'm rectifying that problem. But it's going to take 3 weeks, and I just didn't want to wait that long. Tell you something else I want to talk about. My green tree python goes really fast, but I do want to put this out here because I've been, give me just a few seconds, guys, on comments, because I'm going to make something I want to announce, and I want to do it live, and I want it to be, and there's probably going to be some questions about it. So I wanted to address it with you here, where it's live, so you know it's unfiltered. And that is our two-headed snake. Now, a while back, we did announce that we had a two-headed garter snake that had come into us wild. It's really exciting news. It was pretty awesome. We did get it feeding. It ate some guppies on its own. It was also taking, which guppies aren't the best food for them long term, but it was taking that on its own. And then we also did have it taking pieces of a rat pinky. So like you're talking a rat pinky leg, and things of that nature. On that, we were having to assist. Based on a lot of research I did with two-headed snakes and talking to several people, getting both heads to eat was paramount. Both heads did eat for us with some assistance. They were sharing a stomach, obviously. But when you have a two-headed animal like that, obviously it's two beings that have been stuck together, right? So there's a good chance that things are not right inside. One thing we never saw happen was we never saw that snake defecate. And then, unfortunately, one day it passed away. So we did lose our two-headed snake. It just, it had eaten the day before. They checked it. It wasn't me that checked it this morning or that morning. It was one of our other people who work at the shop for us, who's very professional, and I trust him a lot. And he opened the tub, and unfortunately, it had passed away. Now, for full disclosure, a day or so before that, I had checked it, and I thought it had passed. It just wasn't looking really good. It kind of has taken a slow decline, and it did die. So I did want to share that in a full video, but I mean, how do you do that? I couldn't figure out a good way to do that. So I kind of thought today, when we were live early on, I'd just rip the Band-Aid off, tell you guys what had happened. That way, there's no you're hiding this or you're hiding that, or anything of that nature. And yes, the Genetic Hunters, Andrew's right, $5 is our base tier. It gives you access to all of our animals when we have them. They're usually all sold out pretty quick when we post them on there. It gives you access to the specials, which I'll be preparing one of those this weekend for posting. And it gives you access to the extra content and everything. So anyway, our two-headed garter did pass. So if you guys have any questions about that, or anything you want to know about that, please ask. I'll answer what I can. And that's good, Anthony. Sometimes it takes a while on those baby balls. I mean, we've been really lucky this year. I've only got one I've had to assist. I hope I don't have to again. And that is yes, I agree with you on that question. And absolutely, you should not handle rattlesnakes while you've been drinking. That is a bad idea. Not going to tell you I've never seen it done, because I have. I have seen it done. But I wouldn't recommend it. Wasn't me. Whenever I'm playing with them, I'm not drinking. Whenever I'm done playing with them, I'm drinking. So that's kind of the way that works. All right, so any questions about the loss of our two-headed snake? Oh, it never did, Kevin. As a matter of fact, when it first started to decline, I actually mistook it for thinking it was going to go on to shed. I was kind of excited. It was getting a little cloudy, But it never did shed for us, never did poop for us, So I'm not sure if it didn't have the capability to digest or anything like that. And yeah, sucks. And thank you for the wall. I didn't know what view to go with, so I decided to go with that. Yeah, I mean, I could have done the other wall, but those racks aren't as pretty as these, so they're the first gen TGR on the other wall, along with some different size racks. I thought this would be a better view for the live stuff. What I'll probably do for lighting next time instead is run lighting on top of my other racks on the other side. Um, Probably a fluff master. We could probably do that. It would be it'd take us a while because I'd have to do it in stages over time and then bring it together. But we might work on that. And then ratio. And I would say right now I'm just a bit male heavy because I have some males that are for 3-to-1 overall. However, we are going more and more towards that. I mean, this year I think I've added one male I purchased, or not one male, I purchased several males, maybe 3 males. First snake, I'd really recommend, of course, ball pythons are great, and corn snakes are probably also great. But again, guys, keep me updated if it starts going to shit, because I do want to know that. I mean, I want to know if this is going to be a decent answer for us to keep doing some lives and mix them in there until the internet's set up. This transition period has been a real pain in the ass, but it is going amazingly now. So I'm excited to be over here. I'm excited to be in here. We just got some new equipment in, so we just filmed an unboxing video for some new equipment that you'll get to see. Actually, it's a Gen 3 rack, so that's going to be coming up to share with you guys soon. That's really awesome. And that's about what's going on. I mean, everything else is just putting stuff together and getting animals going and, the usual. Yeah, it's, I wouldn't, I wouldn't, I wouldn't be surprised if it's a little laggy. It will be better, guys. I mean, just not do lives until that's fixed, or keep mixing them in, and then whenever they finally get my shit done, we'll be good to go. 2,000 grams is huge, but they get bigger. I mean, we've had some females at over 3,000. This year I've been to 2. I showed up at our local Kanza show and actually vended there. I think I had like maybe 8 animals. We didn't have a lot. I brought home 2. So we did not have a lot left to sell. And then we went to Daytona Beach, Florida, and there we went to have some fun. And I probably didn't read it. I need to do better about that. Someone asked, how can I tell if something about bail without worrying about hurting it? I'm not sure what your question was on that. Something, anyway. Yeah. That's funny. Somebody said, wait till you look back and see our females nearly doubled in size. Tiles. Nothing against cinnamon. I just don't own it. So I got into black pastel before I got into cinnamon. Personally, I feel those genes are extremely similar. They do very, very, very similar things. And I don't see the need to have both in my collection. I only see the need to have one. So I've been focusing with black pastel to do what I want to do. It's just root beer today too, guys, for the record. All right, any more? How's the Xanthic clutch doing? Well, want me to show you one? Let me go check on one. I'll be right. Actually, I'll take you with me. Now, there might be, for full disclosure, a live feeder in here right now, because what we tend to do with these young ones, get the door out the way, is we put a small feed item in there that can't hurt them, and then we'll see how they do. So we'll see if this one's chose to eat. Hey, look, it did. So you guys just now found out, the same time I did, that little wonderful thing right there. Hey, DA Exotics, I don't know if you heard us announce, but our 2-headed snake did pass away, unfortunately. We did get both heads eating, and it just didn't work. But I wanted to share this one. You guys asked about the Xanthic clutch. That is, of course, our Killer Bee Xanthic. Look how beautiful that is. And it ate its first meal, which we gave it an ASF hopper. So, as you can see, that clutch is doing really well, right? And it does suck, Andrew. It does. It sucked bad. But, that's the breaks. Like, I knew the chances were slim, and I appreciate your help and helping us with that. So, thank you very much. It just wasn't meant to be. So now I know who that was, Sniffle. He sent that to me. And of course, I don't see your guys' face as often as I'd like, so I didn't know who I was looking at, but pretty cool. Hopefully you did well at the show. It looked like you were vending. And you probably got to see some of the new racks. We are still waiting on some more stuff from TGR, so we're supposed to have more caging coming in to really work on finishing. Get that back squared up. Look at that, boom. To work on finishing some of the display room. Any advice for breeding for the first time? Just do your research, okay? and then just be prepared. Like be prepared for it to happen. Like expect to be successful. Don't expect failure. And then just I don't know. I mean, the best thing you could do is just hope for it. Actually, you did, Kevin Hicks, and the guy who was wearing my shirt in Alabama was actually Sniffle23, who just spoke there. That was who was wearing. I got sent a picture of that, so that's pretty cool. He's one of our Patreon members, so that's how he got a hold of that. As far as somebody asked, they bought a 2-year-old female that's eating live rats. How hard is it to switch to frozen? I think that just really depends on the individual snake. Some of them are easy, some of them are hard. Uh, Me, I use mostly live. I think they're easier when they're young, right? But it can take some time to switch. And Anthony, you said you're waiting on 270s, 340s, 120 from T-Jar, and two mice racks. Damn, you are expanding. Yeah, and that's people ask all the time. Like I get messages a lot of times. I got one just the other day from somebody I knew, and they were like, "Hey, what do you think of TGR?" And I'm like, I really like them. Blah blah blah. I'm like, well, I know they're your sponsor, but off the record, what do you think of them? That's what I think of them. like I, the one thing is it does take a while to get your order. 8 weeks is pretty standard, just because they get they don't make them ahead. They're made as they're ordered, and so sometimes there's some logistics errors waiting on tubs to come in. One time they were back ordered on tubs from Freedom Breeder forever, waiting on those tubs to come in, waiting on materials. So it can take a while for them to get the stuff out to you. But man, when the stuff comes, it's really, really nice. We just did a full review on well, not a full review, I guess. I haven't got it running yet on our newest one. It's awesome. But I'm saying they are awesome people and great products. And it's worth it. It's worth it, but you got to know up front that you got to plan ahead a little bit, that I'm going to order it today, and it's going to take me 2 months to get it usually. As long as you're prepared for that, it's not a big deal. So, somebody asked how important. This is a great question. How important is a source of ASF for breeding ball pythons? I wouldn't say it's the most important thing by any stretch of the imagination. I like having them. I think they're great for stubborn feeders. I know a lot of people don't have access to them. A good case in point is there's a lot of folks out there in California who do a pretty good job, and ASFs are illegal in California, so you can do it without a source for ASFs. I kind of think it makes it easier. I like having them. I find it helps my adult females get back on food too. If they're stubborn, to put an ASF in there and bam. So I like them. I've never seen a sonnet ball. I probably have. I just didn't hear it called a sonnet ball. What is ASF? ASF is short for African soft fur. So the African soft fur is a type of rat. It's barely bigger than a mouse. They're not real big. They're actually really kind of cute. They got these little puffy eyes, like bulge out a little bit, and they're really soft. Hence the name. Everybody says they're mean little turds, but I have a more problem with the rats being mean to me than I do the African soft furs. But everybody else who breeds, including Kurt, will tell you the ASFs are little satanic creatures, and the rats are nice. So what do I know? But I do like to use them. And should you get a caiman lizard? That is only for you to decide. I mean, I think they're cool, but I don't have one. It depends on if you're going to have the space and if you want to deal with them. But they're pretty cool. How old does a pastel to breed to be? Well, for age, I think you're asking age for a male snake. And for a male snake, age really isn't that important. Like, I don't care how old they are. Typically, I mean, I've bred them as a year old, going into their first season if they're big enough size wise. I like them to be about 600 grams. They need to be producing sperm plugs. If I have a smaller male, I'm not going to breed them as hard as I would a really big male, right? So that would be kind of what I would say. But some people want to be a little bigger. I've seen guys breed males as small as 300 grams. I typically don't do that. My fear is if my male were to go off food and he's that small, having a hard time getting him back on. I've also read before there's no scales in Africa, and that's very true. But I do think that if you were to go into the wild, a smaller male is going to have a lot harder time finding and winning competition for females as a bigger, stronger male. And there's a point to that. There's a point in nature for the the larger, stronger animal to be the one that's the most likely to pass on its genetics. So I do like my males to be of a certain size at least. Just a personal thing. And congratulations to Travis. If you're 12 and starting your ball python breeding, you're going to be starting roughly 20 years ahead of me, which is awesome. That's great. And I wish you all the success. Stick with it. And if your parents support that, that is cool, man. Somebody says, I don't know how the males are mature at that size. My male 1 year old, as big as my females, they are 800 to 900 grams. They just are. Like, they get ready to go quick. And I think part of that is, again, designed by nature. They're not carrying the eggs, so, and they're going to go out looking for females, so there's probably more chance they're going to get picked off. There's going to be more fighting. So if they could get to size earlier, that's going to be good for them. The quicker an animal can mature to pass on its genetics in the wild, the better, right? And the reason for that is it helps the species reproduce quicker and faster. So I think it makes sense for them to get ready early. Females taking a while is bleh, kind of a pain in the ass. Robert asks, does a female have to be 2 years old? I would say at a minimum, I want my girl to be 2 years old. I like them to be 1,500 grams. That doesn't usually happen at 2 years old. Most of my females I breed are 3 to begin with for their first year. I've had a handful ready at 2. I've had a handful take 4. They kind of run at their own schedule. And that's kind of what I agree with. Is Kowski 1911. I hope you're talking about the gun. Those are awesome handguns. I love 1911. Said it's more about the size than it is the age. Now somebody's gonna say, "Well, I can power feed and kind of cheat that." Don't do that. Feed appropriate. Power feeding's not gonna. It may get you to size quicker, but when you rush that female, you tend to. I think you're gonna have smaller clutches, and you're gonna continue to have smaller clutches. I'd rather take a year longer and have bigger clutches overall than get ready a year sooner and get those extra 4 or 5 eggs that year, then kind of be stuck in the four to 5 eggs every year for the rest of that female's go, as opposed to 7 or 8 eggs, which is what I'm really shooting for, is 7 and up for my girls. Not every girl does that, and that's normal, but that's what I want to be. So someone says you can pair males when they're 500. You can. You can pair them. Like I say, I know people do when they're 350. But it's some of it's a matter of preference. And as long as you know what you're doing and you take care of that animal, it's okay. I think getting lighter on females presents more risk than going up there. That's a great question. And this is from Mila's Country Critters. And it says, when should you start vending, advertising your business snakes? Well, I can tell you what. I don't think you can do that too early. Now, I wouldn't vend at a show unless I had enough to sell. You got to have enough to make it worthwhile for you to go and sell, right? That's kind of where I'm at. If you only have 4 or 5 snakes, probably not worth going to a show and vending. But if you can fill a display case and you got 15 or 20 to sell, man, go to a show. It's great. As far as advertising what you're doing, once you're intent that you're going to be there, right? You're going to be there, then do it. And the reason I say that is because when you go to that first show, maybe it's 4 years down the road, 5 years before you go to the show. But if you've already put yourself out there, you've talked to people on forums and Facebook, maybe you've done some videos or whatever it is that you're going to do, Instagram, whatever it is that you're deciding to do. Our hope when we started this, which has gone way beyond what I ever believed it would, was that, hey, maybe when we go to a show, maybe we'll get lucky. And as we're trying to sell a snake, we'll have somebody who's like, I know those guys from somewhere. I don't know where, but I know they look kind of familiar, and that little bit of semi-familiarity might be enough for them to buy from us instead of somebody else, right? Now, obviously, we got kind of lucky, ours took off. So, yay for us, I guess. But it really does help sell. So you cannot start promoting yourself too early. Put yourself out there. And I believe if you're going to promote yourself, promote your successes, promote your failures. I opened this video talking about a snake that died. I don't think that's bad. That used to be frowned upon, but I don't think it's bad in today's age to share the truth of what happens. Speaking of that, I did have to open my test incubator. Sorry, I know we're going to open that. What happens when we lighted that, we can shine a light in there and see. I did see I had 1 egg going bad, and I did not want that egg to infect the rest. We did pop it open, remove the 1 bad egg, and pop it closed. So we did have 1 egg that went south. That is not going to be anything indicative of super black pastel in there. It's because it's so early on. If that was going to be what was killing an egg, that would be later on in the process. But otherwise, we're not opening that thing at all. I've been a very good boy about that. So, and who knows what that 1 egg was. You're always going to lose a handful every year, when you get to a certain size. It's just part of it. Awesome, Chad. So Chad's kind of listing what he's got. He's going to do his mail next year. And that'll be great. I mean, you can't. This is such a great hobby. Whether you want to be the size we are, or you want to be, just a handful of clutches a year and just go to your local show and just do that just for fun. It doesn't matter. Or if you just want to keep two or three snakes because you want to keep two or three snakes. I love this hobby. I love, I'd say about 80% of the people in it. And I mean, it's just fun. It's just great. Thank you, Awesome Reptiles. I enjoyed that too. Oh, let me tell you, when I do shit like that, there are some uptight people in this world. Because I had people who were ripping into me about that and like talking. I mean, it was quite comical because I'm thinking I'm just trying to have a little fun here, you know. I just want to enjoy myself, and that was a way to do it. But yeah, I had people like, "Oh, you must be the most insecure human being." I'm thinking, really? You think I'm insecure? Like, really? Because I'm like fucking white fat guy who puts himself on YouTube. Yeah, that's something you do if you're insecure, right? I mean, come on, uh, yeah, and it happens. Especially they see a 400-gram male pair with 2,000-gram beast. But I do. I like my males a little chunkier. I'll kind of give you an example of the male that I think is there. One I'm excited to breed this year. Hi, buddy. You gonna behave yourself today? Oh, yes, you are. And that's this guy. This is like perfect size male for me to start breeding. I'm excited about that. And this is, of course, our Suma, Super Mahogany. We got this from Travis Whistler Reptiles. Not He's just over a year old for us. So when we got him, it was too late to even worry about starting this last year. Oh look, he's got his head almost upside down. So I was gonna say he's got a spider. He doesn't have spider, but all snakes will do that a little bit. So it's kind of their body shape, right, buddy? But really cool. I cannot wait to stick him in there. Let me put that back in there. Oh. So that though is kind of an example of the size I'm working with. That's where I really want to be. You just think she's really small. Which one do you think is really small? Or should I think about that? That's a male. I'm talking about a male size for breeding. She would be way too small to breed as a female. No way would I breed that if it was a female. Yeah, I would agree. Matt, when do you start your breeding season? Well, man, this year, it's funny. Your opinions, as you do this more, you're going to learn more, and myself included, and things are going to change for how you do things. We used to have a pretty set season, and we would start it about Halloween. I think I am going to push that back about 2 to 3 weeks this year, maybe a month, because we're having such a late season. Man, the female in my picture just ovulated. Just ovulated. Holy shit, she just ovulated. What the hell? So, just to make sure, Chad, that's funny. Just to make sure that, I give them enough time to recoup. But we used to have a pretty set season. We'd start breeding, about Halloween, kind of lightly breeding. Then by December, man, we were running a full bore. And by March or April, we were done. We had eggs coming in, late April, early part of May, all the way through about August. And then that was it. We were actually done with all of our eggs, I think, in August last year. Uh, that was our season. But now we're having eggs all throughout, all the way up till December. We're going to probably be having eggs. So it kind of turns into, well, we just ovulated. This is September, middle. Yeah, I mean, because that'll be November, I guess, for her. Yeah. And so we're going to get to more of an all year breeding. And I'm probably going to start taking, not this season, I kind of missed it this year, but next year, maybe marking on the tub of the female, like when we pulled eggs from her. That way I kind of know how long it's been. And I can kind of keep an eye on that to maybe know when to breed her. Probably breed her about 7 months after she lays. Maybe. And yeah, some people start much earlier for now. I mean, this is not too, we're talking, this is 6 weeks earlier than I normally would start, but I have chased storms in September before with great success. It doesn't hurt, but now I have a lot of females. I'm still getting back to size. Partly the move, too, I think has kind of flipped it for us a little bit. Oh, tooth caught your thumb. Hopefully it stayed in there. I missed something. I see something was rough. Uh, oh, this is what it was. So Kowski1911 says, in the time you've been doing this, have you ever hatched twins? I hatched my first clutch in February. I had a set of twins, and unfortunately, they passed in a month. The rest were fine, thankfully. I'm sorry you lost those. Get back there. But I've never hatched twins. That's one thing that's on my bucket list to do, but it's just never happened yet. So I'm hoping that maybe this year will be the year we get some twins. We still have a lot of eggs to open, but we're just never done it. I hatched my first paradox. Well, yeah, I guess you'd say my first real paradox last year, and then I've got one this year that we sold. But paradoxes are pretty cool. They were on my bucket list. I don't know a damn thing about breeding tegus. Now, my buddy Colin, he did breed some, but uh, it's just not my forte. I've never bred lizards. I've only bred snakes. And yeah, Chad, as long as she hasn't been powder fed, if she gets to that weight, she's over 2 years old, I've done it. Doesn't mean they're always going to go, but it's usually pretty safe. I mean, no breeding is 100% safe. You can have a 4-year-old female of 3,000 grams. You could breed her, and it can still go wrong. I mean, breeding has risks. It just does, and if we pretend like it doesn't, we're doing a disservice to ourselves and our animals. I mean, I lost a huge carpet python due to egg binding once. They have risk, but I would say your risk at 1,500 grams and 2 years old are pretty low. I would feel comfortable doing that. Somebody said, this is from, I'm going to probably mispronounce that name, Lashane Cash. Hopefully I got that right. It says, love your channel. I want to let you know you and a few others are true inspiration. I have my first ball python. Can't wait to see him grow. Well, congratulations. That is awesome, and I'm glad that myself and a few others can be an inspiration, and hopefully you keep with it because it is a fun thing. And somebody just said, I got a question. Well, go ahead and ask your question. Somebody says, the Cayman, Matt, the Cayman's doing good. He's still really shy. We got a new heater for him. We trying to figure out the best way to keep that thing down so it won't float. Get his temperatures a little warmer. We've warmed up the whole place, so he's warmer, but I want to warm his water to see if I can't get him doing some more things I want him to do. And maybe try to find me some plastic lily pads. I think that might help him. He's gotten where he'll eat mice, but not when I'm standing there. He was eating small rats before that. He still won't do that. But he will take mice when I'm not around, so he's doing okay. The GoPro Live? Oh, something you recorded. Okay, now I got to figure it out. So two said he had a question, then he asked, I want to make sure I read that one. Says, so I got a champagne cinnamon recently, was told she was a 2018. She is over a year, as was born in July, but she weighs 1,300 grams already. Will she be ready by November to start breeding, do you think? Well, November is pretty close, so I'm going to say probably not in November. I mean, you're talking 200 grams light, and if she was only a year old, I mean, because born in 2018, so it depends when she was born in 2018. If she was born early 2018, then early 2020, she would be 2. So I would probably hold off a bit on that snake if it was me, and I probably would be pairing, maybe February, March, if she hits size. That's where I'd be. Sure, you can make that pairing. I mean, as long as it's not any, I'm talking about phantoms, I mean, you can go for that. You know what? Somebody asked, this is a good question, because I don't know the answer to it. So this is, how many times would you breed a female before retiring her? I have a 5-month super mystic female. I plan on breeding with the DHI banana pastave when she is of size to grow my personal collection. I honestly don't know. I mean, I don't think it's going to be, well, when this girl's 10, I'm going to stop. Or when this girl's 12, I'm going to stop. It'll be if production dips or her health seems to decline, or I don't think it's healthy for her. I mean, they're not wired like us, where I don't think they have a snake menopause and they're going to stop. But that's that's a touchy subject for breeders, and that's a slippery slope. It's actually one of the reasons why I don't like buying adult females from just anybody. Because I always think, why are they selling them? And if they're selling their old retired stock, so I typically start with babies and just put the time in. Not that I haven't cheated a few times, I have. And hi, Logan. So it is a slippery slope, and I don't have the exact answer. But I can tell you this: when my females age out, so to speak, or if I'm not going to use them for breeding anymore, one thing I will personally do is if I keep them, I'll just let them live out their life. If I choose not to keep them, then I'm going to probably move them along as a pet only, disclosing exactly what their age is, exactly why, and everything else. Because if there's one thing that I don't like about this industry, is it in any animal industry for that matter, is it does open itself up to having some dishonesty. And I personally feel like if I had an old female that I knew wasn't able to produce anymore or producing very well, and I put that and I'm selling it as a proven female, and some new person comes on there and buys that, they're going to get a sour taste in their mouth about the whole hobby. And they're not going to know I screwed them, most likely. They're going to think, they're just doing something wrong. And that's not right. That's not right. So, that's kind of where I'm at on that. I wish I had a better answer for you. I just don't. Yeah, someone said their friend has a 20-year-old snake and she's still good. And I have another buddy who's got a snake that he's going to probably retire this year. And the reason he's retiring her is she's produced for him a large. But this year, she slugged out. Okay, so she just didn't do very well. And she had a hard time and went egg bound on the first egg, and he had to assist getting that out. So he kind of was like, look, if she's starting to go egg bound, I don't want to keep breeding her because I'm afraid I'm going to kill her. And that's an honorable thing to do, right? So that's kind of where that is. And yes, we will breed the rattlers. Robert D, probably not this season. We got a few other things to take care of first. They're all doing great. You're going to see some really cool venomous videos coming up, I think. I have some plans to go film some awesome, awesome, awesome shit that I'm excited to go and do. And if I'm excited to go do it, then this should be pretty cool. I don't get excited to clean poop anymore, right? The best place to start marketing animals. Well, Joey, that changes so fast. I mean, it used to be, I sold on Craigslist and Facebook back in the day, right? And now you can't really do that. Like Facebook gets all pissed off. And you can still do Craigslist. It's going to be more local. It's a little sketchy. It's Craigslist. Somebody might think it's Craigslist. And a lot of people use Morph Market. Morph Market's really good. A lot of people really like that system. For me, I've used this. I have. But it's going to be interesting. Yeah, and see, the thing with Kali is you're right. Somebody said she's going to need a snake muzzle to pair up. For those of you that don't know who Kali is, that was my red female Western Diamondback, and she is the bitchiest rattlesnake I've ever seen. So here's my hope. My hope is I'm going to move Kali, as soon as my caging arrives, into a TGR enclosure. And so my hope is an enclosure change. I'm going to try to set that up a little different. Might help calm her ass down. That's my hope. Her enclosure now is a dark light, so she doesn't have a lot of bright light in there. She's got dark overhead, so she should feel like she's kind of under a ledge, which is, they get eaten by birds above. So that should make her feel good. But I don't know. She's a bitch. So I'm hoping I can calm her down, and it might have some more space for her. And if I can get her calmed down, I'm hoping to breed her. If I can't get her to calm down, I'm going to attempt it. But I have an actual fear that she might kill the male. I also don't know if she will, because she may just have a pissy attitude towards people and be fine when I put a male in there. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. And hey, Kowski1911, when it comes to Facebook groups, I'm kind of a ghost. There's one that started for our Patreon, and I'm on it. I haven't even posted on it yet, and I need to. It's just Facebook and I have this love-hate relationship. I need to post more on my own page. I know I post there. Yeah, so Chad's saying I'm on it. I just haven't ever posted on it yet. I need to. I just need to get back into Facebook. But it's a very hard thing for me to do because the Facebook groups have left a very bad taste in my mouth over the years, and I don't know if they've gotten much better. So there is that. Unboxing is better than Christmas. Is that what you guys were saying there, Rain City? We have an unboxing. We just filmed an unboxing video the other day. So, hey, I've been posting more on Instagram. I've been trying, man. As a matter of fact, I just posted something it's really near and dear to my heart. So if you haven't been to our Instagram, go check it out. And it is not even a snake, but it is a letter that we received and a flag that we received from a soldier who watched us with his daughter whenever he was overseas. And it was a flag that was flown on the back of a Chinook helicopter during Operation, you're going to make me forget. I want to say it was Enduring Freedom, maybe. But we posted that. It's really cool. It's, we took it and we got it all in a nice shadow box and set up, and it's hanging on the wall here at the Reptile house. So it's on display here. Probably the coolest thing I've ever received in the mail from anything reptile related. But yeah, the Facebook family is safe for us. I know that, and I need to get on there and post more. But it is probably a better post. What I'd like to do, if I could know how well that'd be moderated and keep up with membership, which maybe we can work on that. I can get with you guys that are running that. We could probably even maybe try to pin a post that's got the availability list that I could keep updated so people can have that all the time, as opposed to, yeah. How often I do shows for kids, Chad? Not really very often. I mean, they had a rabbit in their classroom. Had. That's a long story. Their principal, after a few weeks, decided he didn't want a rabbit in the classroom. So now I have a rabbit in my living room. Aww. Man, that'd be awesome. Morph mechanics. We'd stick that up too. I love the military. My father was in the military. My brother was in the military. My brother was a short time. My dad did some cool shit over there. And then we live right by Fort Riley, so I can sit out here and listen to, the guns and everything else, and when the wind is right. My old house, I can hear it all the time. I can sit on my porch and listen to fucking 50 cal, so it's cool. We see, military vehicles all the time, and we live in a spot that's very, very pro military. Because without it, we wouldn't have what we have here, and it's sometimes a thankless job. So appreciate it a lot. How long have I been in the hobby? Is what Caden Worcester is asking. Well, as far as like breeding in the hobby or being like whatever you call this. I think it probably started about 5 or 6 years ago. I'd have to look, But in the hobby, as far as keeping an animal, of course, I had an animal before it was a hobby. Before there was the internet and it was all interconnected. And I was a kid getting Reptiles magazine and keeping my first ever green anole and a leopard gecko. And then a veiled chameleon that a pet shop gave me really bad advice on when I killed. So yeah, that's a whole nother story. Internet's a good thing and a bad thing at the same time. So I've been in it a very, very long time, But yeah, somebody says once they're hatched, they start eating, they'll be able to lighten their load a little bit until the next time. Man, I used to say that shit too. And let me tell you, this just grows and grows and grows, and pretty soon there is no off season anymore. I don't have an off season, man. I'm just gonna have to come work my ass off every day. It's just the way it is, and that's fine. And you're gonna get to that point too. The thing is, if you enjoy it, it's really cool. There's an old saying that says that if you enjoy what you do, you'll never work a day in your life. That's horseshit. That is not true. Absolutely not true. But if you enjoy what you do and you're passionate about what you do, then your work doesn't suck. And what I mean is, just days where you're still like, man, I don't want to go fuck with clean and poop today. I don't want to go deal with clean. I don't want to do it. I don't want to move all this crap. But then you get started. And all of a sudden, once you get started, it doesn't suck. And then you're happy to be doing it. That's the difference in loving what you do. You want to keep them all? Yeah, I've been there. It gets easier to sell and part with things, The pastel Inchi Desert Ghost? Yeah, let's go take a look at that. As a matter of fact, I'll run you guys through. You know what? How about we just do a quick update on everything from Florida while I'm at it? And I agree, husband. And I keep chameleons now. The problem was, I was a kid, this pet shop, and they have a chameleon I thought was really cool, and they give me all this advice how to keep it, and to a T, it was wrong. So there is our blood python right there. You can see the female's doing really good. I'm waiting for her to flip back and try to bite me in the face, but she's not going to. That's good. So we had bad advice. That was why we did a terrible job. Then I kept one later on, as an adult, where I set it up proper, did my research, all that, was successful. Then we're going to show you the stuff we picked up, right? Update you on all that. Here is one of the first things that was sent to us, which just ate. I need to get a shed out of there. We'll get that. Whoop. Of course, this is the Mojave 100% het desert ghost, 50% possible het ghost we got. Really cool. That did not come from Florida, but part of what we got in Florida came because I knew that was coming. This is our angry little blood python male. He was really kind of not doing super well when we first were transporting him, but he is doing great now. This is the one. Now, the funny thing, we did an Instagram picture, with the kid who was also bidding on this, and the snake in the picture was actually the female we bought, right? But the male, this was the one that he was bidding on. We just didn't have it with us when we took the picture. So this is our pastel super inchy vanilla ghost, and it looks like it's going into shed again. Really cool. This is a bright as the sun pastel desert ghost, and this is just shed. Just shed. That thing is beautiful. As a matter of fact, if you could see it in person and not the camera, the color is actually brighter. The camera's washing it out a little bit. Looking at it. We have an Axanthic pinstripe who pooped. Ew, I gotta clean that here in a minute. And then the pastel lesser desert ghost visual male. That thing is just insane and growing really, really well. So he is awesome. Doing really good. And I got one more to show you. That would be this one here. Of course, that is our super ivory inchy. Or not super ivory. Ivory, which is super yellow belly inchy. Yeah, I'm a dumbass sometimes. So that is everything we got forward. You can see how it's all doing. It's all doing great. Really happy with everything. So we'll give you a quick walk around the room. This will be fun. So this is the room as it currently sits. Baby racks, work sink in there, more coming. Baby rack. These are our adult female racks. It's the wall behind me. Size for the eggs to set in being too small. Robbie Levels, what are we talking about there? I'm curious. And some male racks, and then the wall we were over on is over there. And of course, we got this cool new TGR rack systems things in there. I should probably start doing that when I do live so I can get their advertisement in there, right? But I want to something about the size, and I'm not sure what the comment's about, so I really want to. Oh, the Hatch Right trays. Never used a Hatch Right tray. I used Hatch Right once, and it killed everything. But that was mostly user error more than anything. So get that back where it'll make that cool background, right? There we go. All right, oh, that's too tall. See what happens there? That's about perfect. But for me, if the eggs are laid in a clump, I try to leave them in a clump, right? Oh, sorry, Anna. It's probably my fault, actually. And I only remove the ones that are going to be touching the lid or touching somewhere I don't want them touching. And I don't separate them all. There's no reason to separate them all. I mean, nature's been putting them together for a million years and been fine. So why the hell would I take them apart unless I have to? It's just I like a little bit bigger incubation tub for that reason too, so I can leave more shit together. But that's just me, and everybody does it on their own. Oh, somebody asked a question that I probably couldn't answer. It's like, oh, Chad Cooley said he was stationed at Fort Riley. Very awesome. Got my first snake in Ogden. Who'd you get it from? I bet I know him. Was it an elderly? No, I don't want to say elderly. He'll beat me for that. But not a young gentleman? Maybe. Probably about 6'3", gray hair. Curious, because if so, it might have been my buddy Joe. And Fort Riley is a pretty cool place. I mean, it's a pretty cool military area here. Like I said, we just love our soldiers, and one, they help our economy go. So that's part of it. You got it from a local reptile store in Ogden. There shouldn't be any reptile store in Ogden. Are you sure it wasn't in Manhattan? Did you drive from Ogden, come through Ogden to the next town to Manhattan and get it? If so, that's my store. But we would have known what we were selling, most likely, I would think. Ogden doesn't have much for stores. Ogden's got a Casey's, and it used to have a porn shop ran by a little person. Oh, that's a different person. Okay, that makes more sense then. I was confused. I'm sorry. Ogden's got a barber shop, and then it's got a Casey's and a Pizza Hut. I'm like, there's no reptile shop there. So that's good that makes more sense now. Because I thought somebody was confused or I was. But that's funny. All right, guys. Now that I've done that, well, I would, but it's just the root beer. It ain't even helping. I'm gonna get one before we start the other thing. Though, very nice fella. Who is a very, very nice fella? Did I miss who you picked it up from? I probably did. Well, if it's who I'm thinking it was, he's really cool. The Klitz. I'm gonna do you one better out of the jungle reptiles because the Klitz is in shed right now and not looking its best. Let me pull you out some shit that'll blow your mind. Let's blow some minds today. I'm going to bring it to the black table. That's kind of why I'm waiting. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. It's over here. I'll be right back. Nobody run away. It's going to be worth the wait. I promise. I promise. Oh, damn it. You're in shed too. Well, poop. This snake is in shed. I'm still going to show it to you, but since it's in shed, it's feeling very angry today. So, wanting to preserve its teeth, we're going to use a little hook here, just so it doesn't feel the need to bite at anything. Okay. This is offspring from the Klitz. You guys ready for this? And again, this looks like crap because it's in shed. So this, oh man, this camera is just not picking that up very well. Maybe I'm too close. You know what? Hold on. We're going to get rid of some of this light because I think we're over bleaching it with light for the camera and it's just not showing up. Theirs has got way more purple in it than it's showing. There you're getting a little bit of it, but it's about 3 shades darker purple than that's showing. That is. And the pattern in it, it almost looks bleached out there. You have to just trust me. It's there. And this is what we think to be most likely a calico blitz. Calico Blitz Black Pastel Banana. That's what we're hoping all is in here. And as you can see, she is in shed. That is her second shed. Let me see if I can't show you her sibling. Her sibling shares a lot of the same colors, but it is missing one of the genes. There's a sibling, but not the one we're talking about. I'll show you all this clutch. This thing's cool. Oh, stop being a little bastard. But you can really see that there, how dark that snake is. I do believe that's got black pastel and blitz in it along with calico. That's why you're angry. You didn't eat yours yet. But this is another sibling. And it's missing just one of the genes. It's just awesome. And yes, you've been asking to see Zeus for a very long time. So I will gladly pull him out and show you how he's doing. But give me 1 second to put this snake back into its tub. There you go, little one. Because that one right now is probably one of the cooler things I've ever made. I'm so sorry that went in the shed because I was not expecting that. But you asked to see Zeus. Let's show you Zeus. I gotta remember where I stuck him. Not over there. The one-eyed trouser snake's in trouble, Andrew, because he ended up being head carnival. I'm pissed off at him like it was his fault or something. Here he is. So here comes Zeus. There he is. You can see he's doing really well. Oh, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. You're fine, buddy. I know. I know. The plan for Zeus next season? Well, there's a good chance that he's going to end up breeding again. Probably to the same pairing. So, probably the same thing we did this year. But we'll probably only do that with him, most likely. If I get my other females ready, well, he might be breeding a few of them too, I guess. I got several females I'm working towards getting ready for him. And then I've also got Super Pastel Xanthic I'm trying to get ready to go. So, he will still be breeding. Oh, I just use a little ceramic dish on the small ones. Of course, all these are built in, so no big deal there. All right, guys, we've been at this for almost an hour, so Also, there's a couple really quick little questions. We're going to hop off of here, and then we are going to go and slide on over to Patreon and go live with them for a little while so I can get to anything that they have. It's awesome over there if you've never been over there because it loves me at the time or hates my guts. And the comments come in fast so I can keep up with over there. We never have that many, it doesn't seem like, because not all of our members can be on at once. And just, people are working, doing stuff, right? And so we're able to get to pretty much everything over there, which is really cool. Josh Summers, how you buy a snake from me is you buy one through Patreon. That's the best way to get it. Everything goes there first, and then it goes away from that. So check it out. That's the best way to really get your hands on one. All right, guys, as a matter of fact, those snakes I just sold, all those will end up available on Patreon with the exception of the one that was in shed, because the one that was in shed is mine, and I'm not getting rid of that. But I can tell you that last banana I showed, do you really think that's going to make it through the Patreon VIP? I don't. I don't think that snake's ever going to be on Morph Market. I don't think it's ever going to be at a show. And they're not going to get one from anybody else because I'm pretty sure it's the only one there is, along with the one that's in shed, which are different. And Miguel, I do not currently ship to Canada. We may do that eventually. It's just I've never worked at doing that yet. All right, guys. Thank you so much for coming here, joining us, and watching. Don't forget, tomorrow we'll be uploading a regular video, so if you're not getting notifications, try and click in the bell and re-clicking the bell. And then, to do me a favor, if you don't get notifications, email YouTube and tell them how much you want Olympus Reptiles notifications, how much you're tired of them screening Olympus Reptiles, and that would be awesome. I do it every day, but I need more people to do it, because me doing it, they don't care about. All right, guys. Like an old Godzilla movie. That is probably due to the fact we're on Verizon, right? All right, guys, we will catch you soon.